Hey everybody, welcome to Jacob's Quest, and today I have watched episode 3 of The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and yeah, this is a dense episode. We're halfway through the series already. There's only 6 episodes, and just like last episode, I'm like, man, I wish that this was at least 8 or if not even 10 episodes long, because it feels like there's so much that they're like, every episode just adds more and more. So, you know, I'm already prepared for the end of this series to leave me with questions unanswered. But okay, let's jump into it. So the majority of this episode deals with Sam and Bucky and Zemo. So at the end of the last episode, they're like, all right, we gotta go talk to Zemo. And they go to the prison. They try to talk to him for a second, and then later Bucky's like, let me give you a hypothetical. What if I were to break him out of prison? And then of course it turns out I've already broken him out of prison. He's right here in the room. And so it was, and I feel like in a show that had those like 12 20 episodes, whatever, that would have been an entire episode on its own, trying to break him out of prison. But they do that in a kind of funny montage, so it's, you know, that was funny. I'm glad that, you know, our limited episodes, they're like, just get him out, just make it a funny little joke, and now he's out. And then it also turns out that Zemo is crazy rich. So this is not, you know, I've heard some people call it a retcon or something of Zemo and his situation. It's not really a retcon, because, you know, in order for it to be a retcon, it would have to go against previous information, when in reality it's more like, hey, before, the only thing we knew about Zemo was that, you know, 1, he was part of like a special kill force from Sokovia, and 2, his family had died. That's really all we knew about him. So to add on to that, oh, also his family was related to the Sokovian royalty, he's a baron, and he's rich, like, that's, you know, that's just adding information we didn't know before. So that's not a retcon, that's just additional information, really, you know. So that's really all it is. It was just never brought up before this. So that's pretty cool. And basically what's happening is that we're all working together, because, you know, Zemo obviously does not want any supers. He doesn't want any more super soldiers, and they think that he might know what's going on because of his past with Hydra and all this other stuff. So it makes sense why they're all willing to work together. Of course, they still insist that, like, well, Zemo, you're going to prison after this, which, you know, it does kind of feel like they would have had to kind of bribe Zemo to, like, work with them more. And I definitely feel like the reason that they didn't have to do that is because Zemo is like, oh yeah, I'll help you guys out. He's definitely got other stuff planned, I'm sure. There's obviously going to be a point where he betrays them. But for this entire episode, he's working with them, and they have like this great dynamic, and they have just wonderful moments where they're talking about music, or they're talking about just going to this Madripoor place, and it's amazing. There's even like a dance club scene, and Zemo dances for a second. I love the dynamic that they set up here. You know, by next episode it could all be broken up and even crazier stuff happens, but I love that we at least got this one episode where the 3 of them are just together on this adventure. But anyways, so basically they go to Madripoor because this is the underground criminal hub world, basically, where like all criminality passes through, and Zemo has connections there, so he tries to talk to people. There's this funny thing where Sam has to dress up, and he says he looks like a pimp, but he's supposed to look like this other guy. I think it's like the Smiling Tiger or something, which is a ridiculous name. But then he has to eat like this drink. It's like it's a shot of alcohol, but it's got like some organ from a snake. They cut a snake open. It was really gross. Apparently it's a real thing. Apparently, like, that's legit a thing in the real world. So, anyways, basically they go talk to this higher up lady because she might have some information on the super soldiers, you know, the flag smashers. How did they get this serum? Where did this all come from? So they're here, and they talk to this lady, and they get the name of this scientist who apparently is working for the power broker. So we're getting that brought up again. You know, we saw the flag smashers talk about that last episode, whoever this power broker is. and basically they're gonna go on their way to go find this scientist. Of course, they have to shoot their way out of there, and then Sharon Carter shows up and saves them from all of the, they now have a bounty on their head because the lady they were talking to got shot. And apparently Sharon Carter has been, we haven't seen her since Civil War. She helped them all escape, basically, and we haven't seen her since. And it kind of made me realize that there are a lot of things that happen in the movies, these major events, where you kind of are left to assume that, like, oh well, I'm sure that character's fine, like, and you think it'll never get brought up again, right? It's just the rest of their stuff happens off screen because they're a side character, and you're kind of like, no, it's fine. It's sort of the same thing of, like, Sam having financial troubles, because, like, you kind of assume, like, no, he's an Avenger, surely there's money coming from somewhere, I don't know where, but somewhere someone's paying the Avengers, right? It's like, no, they're just people. Like, Tony Stark was not paying the bill, so it's just there's a lot of interesting questions being brought up, and Sharon Carter is like, basically, she's like, yeah, you guys forgot me. Like, my life was screwed up because I helped you guys escape and I stole the equipment back from the government, the shield and your wings. And then you guys went off to go become the secret Avengers for 2 years until Infinity War happened. And I was basically just left on my own to go, like, all right, good luck. You're now a criminal against the US government. Good luck with that, so she's built her own life here in Madripoor, and now she, I guess, deals illegal stolen art, which is interesting, and we're gonna get back to this, okay? But she's very bitter, but she does agree to help them, but she's definitely got, like, this new attitude. She seems like a more fleshed out character than she was in the other movies, because she was in Winter Soldier and Civil War, and she was very much a side character, even a very minor side character at that, because those movies were packed with other characters, so she was a very minute part. So it feels like, really, for the first time, we're actually getting to know this character, even though she's been in 2 movies before. Anyways, she's very bitter at her situation and the fact that she was basically just left to her own devices, like, all right, thanks for helping, bye. And the Avengers left, so not unlike Zemo's motivations in Civil War, like, my family died and then the Avengers went home. Like, so you see, like, the Avengers definitely just leave collateral damage in their wake, and not just buildings, but, like, people's lives, people who were just standing there and their family got killed, or people who tried to help them and they did something illegal and now they're screwed. So anyways, it's just fascinating stuff to, I'm thinking about stuff that I never thought of before this. So anyways, Sharon Carter agrees to help them find this scientist. She's like, oh, I'm gonna go Google it on my, work on my connections, because she's all underworld criminal element now. And they go to this shipping yard where the scientist is inside one of these containers. Outside, Sharon has to beat up a bunch of bounty hunters because now there's a bounty on Sam and Bucky's head. They go in there, they meet the scientist, who basically explains that he is the first person in 90 years or whatever since that original scientist to be able to actually recreate the super soldier serum successfully. And he does explain that, like, yeah, I had to take the blood from Isaiah Bradley, and I took whatever the CIA had, and I and then I got dusted, so when I came back, like, no one was there, so the power broker came and supported my project. And basically, he created the super soldier serum, and then it was stolen by the Flag Smashers, and that's basically the story. And he also explains that there's 20 of them, so there's 20 serums total. I don't know if the Flag Smashers have used all 20 of them, but they have them at least. And then, of course, they gotta go. Zemo shoots the scientist in the head. So basically, no more serum. Like, that's it. Which I think is for the best, obviously. not that the guy died, but, like, I think it's for the best for the story, and that, like, the idea of someone being a super soldier every single time you create more and more, it gets a little bit less special. You know, it's like, imagine if there was like 40 different Hulks walking around. It's like, okay, so the Hulk is no longer that special if there's just a bunch of Hulks everywhere. So, you know, I'm okay with this, that they killed the scientist off. Now it is once again the situation it was before, where it's like, hey, it's going to take like another 90 years before someone figures out how to do this again. So that's good. That's a good thing. And basically the building that they're in, or the crate, not a building, it's a crate in the shipping yard, it gets blown up. Zemo has a chance to escape, but he doesn't. He goes and gets a car and he comes back for them, and he helps them escape, which is fascinating because, again, it feels like they would have had to, you know, give Zemo some more reason to want to help them. And now he had his chance to escape and do whatever he wants with all of his money, and he comes back to help them. So Zemo is definitely up to something. They're like, he's gonna betray them. You know, it happens in every single time there's a villain hero team up, the villain's gonna betray him somehow. I would be shocked if he's being completely genuine in his code of honor, and he's like, no, we had a deal. I'm just, you know, I'm just helping you guys out. It's like, no, he's absolutely gonna betray them somehow. Anyways, so Sharon Carter then, and we're coming back to the Sharon Carter thing. So she goes to her own car and her own driver, and she's like, we have a problem. We have a couple of problems. I'll tell you about it on the way, which is very like ominous sounding. And I've seen it a couple of times, people theorizing it, and I'm starting to agree. I think Sharon Carter is actually the power broker, because like her whole thing, you know, when you notice how like bitter she was at her life situation and how her life was ruined, and the thing is that like, oh, she deals with illegal art, she sells and buys illegal art, and that's how she works in this criminal element. But if you notice, she lives in the higher up part of town, and they have a small discussion about how Madripoor is separated between the lower part of town and the higher part of town, with all like the really rich people. And she lives in the higher part of town, and she seems to be her own boss. And now she has a mysterious driver, and she's being all ominous about it. I don't know. I think she might be the power broker. I think that's going to be the big twist, is that like it's not General Ross or whatever his name is. It's Sharon Carter. She's the power broker. She's going to end up being the villain who is chasing down the Flag Smashers. In fact, that would even explain further why she was willing to help Sam and Bucky here, because she's trying to find out where they're at also. That makes a lot of sense. So there you go. We'll see if that's correct. Although the only caveat to that, actually no, this wouldn't be the case. I was about to say the only caveat to that would be that the scientist would have never seen the power broker, which is possible. But I realized just now that she was outside the entire time, and when she did come inside, Zemo immediately shot him. So even if he were to recognize her as the power broker, it doesn't matter. He died like immediately. Holy crap. Whoa. Okay. I'm just saying, Sharon Carter's power broker. It's absolutely what's going on. I'd be amazed if I'm wrong now. There you go. That's how confident I am in this theory. I'd be amazed if I'm wrong. Anyways. So as we continue, we only get a little bit past this. We get a little bit of the new Captain America and a tiny bit of the Flag Smashers' perspective on what they're doing. So Captain America's still tracking, you know, this new Captain America, what's his name? John Walker. John Walker's still tracking down the Flag Smashers, trying to figure out where they're at. They end up going to the exact civilian place that they stayed at in the last episode. Those people that let them stay at their hotel or house or whatever it was. They actually end up going there, and he has like this very aggressive situation where he's trying to get answers from this guy. He was the same guy who called the Flag Smashers Robin Hood. He's trying to get answers from that guy, and you know, he spits in his face, and then he's like, do you know who I am? And he gets all aggressive with him, and it's basically, you can see the mounting pressure of John Walker, and like, he's not getting the respect that he thinks he deserves because he's Captain America. and he's not getting, he's not intimidating people, and you can tell, you're starting to get the vibe that like when he was a normal soldier, when he's just John Walker who's earned all these medals and all this stuff, it's like he might have gotten all that stuff by being like super aggressive and just very like how would you say it? He's willing to interrogate people in a very aggressive way. I guess that's the only way I can really put this. He's not a very Captain America type guy. He's not Steve Rogers. I guess that's the only way I can really put it. Anyways, you can definitely tell he's got this chip on his shoulder about not getting the respect that he thinks his title deserves, and I think he's gonna snap. He's gonna snap like by next episode. He might like just start killing people that are not giving him answers. It feels like that. Like he's still on the mission to go try and find the Flag Smashers. But I've even if there's not ulterior motives there, even if he's not secretly working for the villain or anything like that, even if he's trying to be genuine, he's really trying to stop the bad guys, he's gonna do it in such the wrong way, such the not Captain America way, that they're gonna end up having to stop him. They're gonna have to fight him. They're like, whoa dude, you need to chill out, and they're gonna have to get in a fight. Something like that's gonna happen. He's gonna snap. He's gonna go like power mad and be like, I'm Captain America, I deserve this, and go crazy. You can feel it. You can feel it in the air with this guy. Anyways, the last thing we get is a yet again it's complicated. Okay, so not only do we have Sharon Carter, who seems bitter at the Avengers and all the good guys, but still helps them out, but might have some ulterior motives. And we have John Walker, who he is slowly cracking, and you can tell he's just getting closer and closer to that edge, and he's gonna fall off at any second now. But now we even have I think her name is Carly Mondadale. I don't know how to pronounce her last name. The main Flag Smasher girl. There you go. So they're stealing supplies from the government, the same organization that the new Captain America is working for. Was it GDI, GSI, something like that? They have like a commercial at the beginning of the episode. So they're stealing supplies from them, and she kind of talks to the security guards who they've tied up, and while they're taking everything away, and they're like, look, don't you understand, you have these supplies just sitting here, and these poor people could have used it, and that's why they're taking them. And you think that that's where it's going to end, because that's been like their whole thing. They're Robin Hood, right? They're doing an illegal thing by stealing, but they're giving it to people who need it, so they're good. And like I said last episode, I'm down with that as long as they don't start just killing people for really no reason, like, you kill the bad guys, like the actual evil people, sure, fine, whatever, right? Like all the superheroes in Marvel seem to do that, so okay, I guess, right? But as long as you don't kill innocent people or people who are not evil, they're just like just a security guard or something, then you're fine. But she went full Thanos, like she blew up her car, killing everyone inside, killing all of the security guards, and I'm sorry, but like that's basically evil now. Like you're the bad guy now. You're the bad guy. So I don't know if that kind of felt like out of character. Even like her like second in line, her lieutenant, kind of seemed surprised. Like there were people in there and you just blew them up. Yeah, this is turning a corner here for the Flag Smashers, or at least this main girl here. I don't know. I mean, that's basically all right. She's a bad guy now. She went from being a sympathetic anti-hero Robin Hood type character to now you're just a murderer. Now you're just a villain, and that's what it is. So yeah, very interesting. I'm curious how people are gonna feel about that development, but yeah, anyways, let me know what you guys think. I'm very curious where this is going. The Flag Smashers are no longer, or at least that one girl is no longer like the sympathetic, like, oh, I kind of see your point of view villain. Now she's kind of just a villain. Anyways, let me know what you guys think. And yeah, I'll see you guys on the next episode. Bye.